Yeah.
I'll have to go back and look.
Oh,
I mean, I'll have to watch it
I know.
when it
I'll
airs.
have to watch it when it
I'll have
when
to
it goes
watch
on.
it.
We'll watch it.
I'm gonna watch it.
So that could be a fun game.
Okay.
Post that on social media. We'll see. Well, excited to have you here.
Thanks.
I'm gonna pull up my my notes. I don't even know why I need notes anymore.
I don't think I do today.
It's just, it all comes naturally, right? I mean, it is what it is. All right. I think I'm ready. Are you ready?
Me too. I'm ready.
Good. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Iconic Talk, Winchester's number fun podcast with community conversation and occasional clowning, I guess, to take the center stage. It's once again great. You are the clown.
I'm the clown.
Yeah, it's once again exciting to be here with you guys in our Icon Media Studios, and the lovely Miss Rachel Racy is with us. Once
Hello.
Again. I'm excited to have you to chat with.
It's good to be here.
You've got, is that a work shirt that you have on?
Yeah. I was running late this morning, and I was going to grab something different for this, and it just didn't happen. So
the
I'm like,
wardrobe changed.
It's better for me to show up in my work uniform than to not show up at all.
Okay.
So.
Well, you got to have some sort of uniform on,
something,
right?
With this, not that kind of show.
Not that kind of show.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Mark Francis, your friend, realtor, and all-around good guy.
Is that what I am?
Host of our show.
We've talked about that before.
You say that every time. You always question me when I say
do
it.
question that.
Yeah.
But
Am
it's
I?
good. Yeah. It's just the two of us again today.
Yep.
Excited to have an empty seat for our guest.
Two of us.
Yeah.
We can make it if we try. Just the two. Sorry.
Okay. I was going to harmonize with you, but no. That would have gone too far. Too far. Oh, funny stories about, it reminds me of how we met. Singing.
Connection band.
Yep. And some people thought we were a pair, but my wife intervened very quickly. Very quickly. Oh, well, what is happening? Let's hit some segments here.
Okay.
The unfiltered updates. I'll let you go first. What has been going on in your world?
Just got back from Detroit.
Detroit.
Had the privilege honor of going up there and doing the flowers for my nephew who got married on September 13th.
And that happened.
Yeah, it happened. Happened. Beautiful. I've never been to the Great Lakes. So we actually went up early and stayed 3 nights on Lake Huron. They are literally oceans.
You don't see land on the other side.
It's amazing.
You look left and right.
And I woke up Monday morning and it was 34 degrees outside. Ooh. I could not get over it. I mean, we had left here, it was hot. So hot. Yeah. Gradually, as the week went on, the weather warmed back up. And then by the time we got back down to Detroit, suburbs of Detroit, it was a beautiful 75, 80 degree day on beautiful golf course, very nice country club venue.
Living the good life.
Yeah, it was I felt very fancy.
Awesome.
Very a beautiful meal.
So why was it up there?
Like that's where they live.
Okay.
That's where Noel and Kristen met. So he when he graduated from Virginia Tech, got a job with GM, and then is no longer with GM, but is still living in Detroit, and that's where he met his now wife.
Nice.
So it was really fun.
Nice
to get away.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that this season for me is every weekend there is some sort of event or gala that Eric and I are going to.
Pictures.
We went to the Shenandoah 150th gala fundraising anniversary celebration, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So I had to get all dressed up.
So fancy black
and white kind of outfit.
Looked really nice.
Just did the thing there with Shenandoah, and they put on a really, really impressive show. Obviously, it's meant to be
a full meal and everything.
Full meal, full presentations, productions. Had some people from the conservatory do different performances, and brought in some alumni, and we call it the Jimmy. That's kind of the lowbrow version of what the auditorium is over there at Shenandoah. For James Wilkins Jr. Yeah. And so Wilkins was there, and all kinds of bigwigs who are associated with the town and with Shenandoah from years past. And so they're basically pushing for a campaign to raise $100 million. Yeah, everybody gulps when you hear that. They want to raise $100 million for several different things they want to do. And so they're pitching the vision for what they want to do. And then they dropped the bomb saying, and we've been doing this just behind the scenes for the last year or two. And we've already raised like over 80 million of it. So we're coming to you, the community,
asking
to say
for the
like,
20 more.
Yeah, right. I mean, I was shocked. I was like, wow. I mean, I've heard this kind of grand master plan of 100 million, but the fact that they've already gotten people to commit to donate
it's
for
kind
that
of nice of them to
is
drop
impressive.
the big bomb and then say, but we only are 20 mil short.
Exactly. We've already got 80% of it done.
That's incredible.
So that was pretty cool. And that was a fun night. The weekend before, we had Erica is the director of the PA program. And so there's a fundraising gala the students did for that. Fundraising for the Winchester Rescue Mission. So they raised money for that organization in town. This coming week, I'm going to the Discovery Museum. I'm a sponsor for the Shenandoah Valley Discovery Museum, and the kids, what they've been doing there. They've got a few new exhibits, I think, that they're going to try to show off, and so that's a fun thing that every year I help out with. And Erica's on the planning board for that as well. And so it's the season of galas, getting dressed up and doing outings like that. So
do you wear the same tux for everyone?
No, I'm going to wear different things, I feel like.
Yeah.
So
and she gets a dress for every one of them.
Of course.
Yes.
I mean, she had to order multiple dresses and try them all on and send the ones back that didn't fit and didn't work. And it's a whole thing.
It's a job.
She yelled at me because she didn't like the white shirt that I had a couple white shirts that just didn't quite fit or didn't quite work. And so she forced me to go buy a new white shirt to go with my outfits. So she's like, you have to act like a lady and you have to think in advance and plan in advance and have all these things thought through of what's your outfit going to look like. Yeah, just let me put on just a random coat and tie and I'll walk out the door. It's fine.
I can so hear her saying that.
She's like, I need you to suffer with me too of like what you have to plan through for these things. So I don't know what I have not thought about what I'm going to wear for this Saturday.
You better.
I guess I should.
You got a couple days.
So that's a little brief segment for our unfiltered stuff. Local lowdown. Anything? Can I jump in with this one?
Sure.
We did go out on a date night the other night. And a few weeks ago, I went to go pick up pizza at Pizzoco and drove by North Loudon, the north side of the mall, and saw this open kind of garage glass doors open with it looked like a Mexican place. And it said tacos. And I'm like, I need to check that place out. So I told her she wasn't really wanting to go out and go on the town. I was like, it's Friday night. It's a really nice night. Let's just go do something. It's 8:00, So we looked it up. They closed at 10. We show up. It was busy. Yeah. Lots of people were there. And it was more than just tacos. So Fuego.
You know why they named it that?
I mean, Fuego means fire.
That was the original North Loudon firehouse. Yes. That was a fire station.
Thank you.
Yes.
We were debating on what it was.
Yep.
So they converted. That's why the garage doors were there. Kind of a nod to that.
Yep.
Cool vibe. Cool indoor-outdoor experience. The food was amazing. I mean, literally now and I'm a big Mexican food connoisseur.
Me too.
I think this is like the best in town.
Even above Taquera?
Absolutely.
Is it the same people?
I don't think so. No. I mean, and even above. So, I mean, my go-to is La Carreta. That's just kind of what I call cheap Mexican.
Had La Carreta on Saturday night.
Of course. Yeah, because it's been there forever and they haven't gone anywhere. But Taquera Guadalajara is unique. This has it beat because of its location, and I still think even the food.
And it's nice to have another place that's within walking distance of
downtown.
Yep.
Yeah. So I would highly recommend that. Food was more than just tacos. And we bumped into a couple friends who were there, and they're like, it's our third time we've been here. Every single time has been a home run.
When did they open?
I'm not sure. I want to say just a few months ago.
Yeah. Okay. I've been watching it kind of like happen, like the decor and all, I've been watching it kind of change, but I wasn't sure when it actually opened.
Yeah. So obviously being downtown and an old firehouse, they had to probably make sure that it stays in the code and the standards and guidelines of like what the building is supposed to be. I don't know if I'm sure they had to make applications to the city to be like, this is what we want it to look like. This is what we want the garage doors to be. It's going to be indoor, outdoor, kind of cool vibe.
So there is patio seating and everything?
Yeah. So we sat outside. It was a great night. Yeah.
I want to go now.
Yeah, you should.
I will.
But it makes me think of like the historic district, right? And so there's a zone in the downtown area where you have to get those kind of approvals by the city because the city wants to keep in line with the original design and architectural standards of what the 1700s, 1800s would really look like. I don't think they care too much about beyond like World War II era, but it's really about the previous times. Yeah. So it made me realize, hey, I have friends. I know people. And let me get somebody
I'm cool.
Here. No, didn't think that. But it made me realize, okay, we should talk about that.
Yeah.
We should talk about like
a thing.
What the city cares about, what they don't care about, what their rules are, where to find them, all those things. And a friend of mine is also a local realtor, and she's on the board of architectural review. Her name's Stephanie Ryall. And so I was able to have a conversation. You were gone. It's okay.
Couldn't be here.
You know, so we didn't get a chance to have you banter with her because the two of you guys would have definitely hit it off. Oh my goodness.
I wonder if I know who she is.
Yeah. She's been, well, she'll share her story. She's been in town for about 13, 14 years. And
I probably waited on her.
I'm sure you have. Yeah. Yep. Because, when you wait on people, you get to know them as well.
I do. It happens really quickly.
It's fun.
Yep.
So with all that, I think we should listen to her. Now, I will have to apologize. We've had a couple of technical difficulties with our equipment lately. The fancy vibe of our studio it comes with challenges of learning the things, right? So our microphones were maybe not fully in full use, as there was an episode couple of episodes ago we had some difficulties, so I just apologize. Thank you for all of your
patience is appreciated. Our growing pains. Pardon our construction dust.
This is not a professional scientific studio here. We're doing the best we can and growing. Again, as we talked about, little things change here and there, so we're making strides for improvement. But so bear with the audio. It'll be a little different sound than what you're hearing with me and Rachel right now, but it'll work fine. So here's a chat with Stephanie Ryall. Well, I'm here with Stephanie. How are you today?
Good. Thank you so much for inviting me over.
I'm so excited to reconnect with you because of our common interest of being in real estate.
It's been a while.
But I want to hear more than just real estate. We're here to talk about all kinds of stuff. So give me just a background. What brought you to Winchester?
So we have lived in Winchester for, I think, 13 years.
Okay.
My husband was in the military, and after he separated from the military, he took a job with the government, and that's how we ended up in Winchester. But we just loved the city from the first time we came here. It just felt like home.
Yeah. Where'd you come from?
So we were coming via Alabama, Texas, and Germany.
Yeah, of course. All over the place, right?
I'm from Kentucky. My husband's from New York. So culturally, this was kind of a nice meeting point as well. I love history. I love all the local restaurants. I just think Winchester has something really special. And it's been really good to us. Winchester has just welcomed us in like one of their own. And I thought, I'm just going to get my real estate license and see what happens. And then 5 years later, my husband stays home and I'm selling houses. So,
and you're very successful too. So
sometimes.
What did that look like for you, of like going into a new town and then growing a business like that?
People ask me, what did you do? How did you get started? And the truth is, I tell them I'm just myself. Like I like people. I enjoy talking to people. I like being out and about. And so it was very organic. I would meet clients at a PTA meeting or a birthday party, just all over the place.
Just talk naturally about what you do.
Right, right. Yeah. Do you like where you live? Tell me about it. And it just really, really grew from there. I think it takes a couple years to really kind of get enough experience under your belt to really be confident. But I feel like once you hit maybe the 5 to 7 year mark, get a lot of repeats, a lot of referral business, and I've been so, so fortunate. I'm not sure if you ever talk about faith on your podcast at all, but
go for it. I'm all for whatever you want to talk about.
It's fascinating. I just feel like to work on commission exclusively and to be in this type of field, sometimes things go your way and sometimes they don't, and you just have to believe that things are going to be there when you need them to.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel the same way, and I don't talk a lot about that, but that's more and more over the years you realize, and somebody years ago who was in sales explained that to me, of like, sometimes it's just, things just fall out of the sky, and it wasn't in my control, and I just say, thank you, God. And,
Absolutely.
And to a point, I was like, huh. And at that time, I was like, well, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to go out there and do all the things and wish you're supposed to do. But there's a point where, like, we all have to realize there's so many things that are out of our control. You know?
Absolutely. I mean, preparing yourself is one thing, but you just have to be ready when it steps in front of you.
Right. And so from there, you have created that success. Let's go back to the move, though. How did that work out for your family? Because you have a couple of kids as well. Did they transition into Winchester well?
They were 3 and 5 when we moved.
So it
was very easy. Our daughter doesn't remember living anywhere else. Our son barely does. So they feel like Winchester's home.
Good.
You know, and a few years in, you know, my daughter was invited to be a little maid in apple blossom, and
nice.
I thought, you know, that was kind of for like old school Winchester
people,
right?
Yeah, right?
I didn't think that was on our radar at all, but it was wonderful, and we met so many people through that, and I love that aspect of the community as well. So it's historic and it's traditional, but it's also open.
Yeah, totally. So when you have then now gotten plugged in and acclimated to town, what are some of the other things that you do to serve and help in the community?
Well, I wish I did more, if I'm being honest. You know,
no, you don't have to break. I mean, it's okay. You don't have to do tons. I'm just curious. Like,
I wish I did more. I do sit on the board of Architectural Review, and while it goes against a lot of my principles, because you know it is kind of a Karen, what they call it's like the HOA of Old Town, which I'm not a fan of. But I just think Winchester is so special that it needs to be preserved. And when this board was put together years ago, it came out of the efforts of preservation of historic Winchester. And at that time, you know, the Conrad House was torn down, the Admiral Byrd's house was torn down, and now there's a Dollar General there, like Family Dollar. So I just think it's important that, you know, we protect it. We're kind of stewards for the town.
So what got you into that? Because I want to dive more into this architectural board. That's a unique facet to our town. It is historical, and there are people on a board who are overseeing the town to make sure that it looks, you know, and is preserved right and well. So, like, what got you into that board? How did somebody invite you? Did you raise your hand and say, hey, I want to go there? Like, what did that look like?
I pestered them because there were some changes happening around town that I didn't understand or didn't think were particularly appropriate, and I wanted to know why. So of the board members, one is supposed to be an architect, one should be a realtor, one should live in Old Town. You know, there's kind of different criteria. And at the time, they were telling me that there was a realtor on the board. I'm like, no, there's not. Trust me, I would know if one of these people were a realtor in town. So finally, you know, they were like, okay, you know, we'll interview you. And so, you know, went before city council representative and had a little interview and really didn't know what I was getting into. Right when I came on, there were some hot button movements around town. And I just kind of walked in with like deer in the headlights. But
so how long have you been serving?
A little over 2 years now, I think.
Okay. So give us the rundown, because I've been to one of the board meetings once or twice just for the building that I own with Icon Real Estate and where we are recording right here and now. And there's some just brief changes that we had to do. It was very simple. But I got a chance to watch a few different things happen that got a little intense, you know, where basically the town resident was presenting a case or two, and you guys had to go back and forth a few different times to resolve what you guys needed and then what the resident wanted. So what do you got? How do you define what the architectural board's purpose is? Like, what's kind of is there a statement or is there kind of a phrase when you're walking around town and be like, this is what we do?
That is an excellent question. The purpose of the Board of Architectural Review is to keep Winchester, right? We don't want to stop progress. We don't want to hamper growth, but we also don't want to lose that charm and that historical piece. We do have guidelines that we refer to, and they have commercial and residential and different guidelines. I think what is confusing to a lot of people is, why does this house have something but this house can't? And so I think what most people don't realize is, when a home was built or a building was built has more to do with the guidelines than anything else. So if it's post World War II, it's not considered particularly historically significant, right?
Right.
So, and we are picking up when this committee was formed, just 20 years ago or 10 years ago. I think it was about 15 actually, but we were walking into it where this house had storm windows and this house was painted brick, and so it's not perfect. Yeah. And the goal is not to tell people what to do.
Yeah.
It's really not.
Right.
It's really not. But also, when you are buying a home in the historic district, you're buying an aesthetic that provides your home value.
Yeah. And especially from the resident standpoint, I think, because I live in the city as well, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, they're going to tell me what I can and can't do. And I hate HOAs. Something we get all kinds of people that are like, I don't want to be told what to do and how to run my house. But what's the positive perspective? What's the flip side? Instead of viewing it from a negative, how do you explain to residents that you're here to help support and protect them?
It's another excellent question. I think, downtown Winchester belongs to the community. Yes, they're individual owners,
right?
But to me, it's the heart of the community. And on individual basis, if somebody wants to put vinyl windows instead of wooden windows, that's a very common issue.
That is a big issue, right? I mean, I've seen that in the paper. I've heard stories about it. So, I mean, there's something about kind of the modern technology that's helpful and that's nice, but at the same time, it's not going to look the same.
It's not. And the truth is, vinyl windows fail. And wooden windows, if you keep them painted, mine are 135 years old. They don't work for the most part, but they're still there.
But they're still there.
Right.
And paint color is another thing.
Paint color, a lot of paint colors can be approved administratively now. So that's good. People have a lot more freedom. Yes, if you have a Greek Revival house, we could suggest, what colors they traditionally were. But it's just that. It's just a suggestion. Most of the just color changes get approved just for the office now.
Okay, so that's helpful. So you don't have to go in front of the big committee for the scary, board of everybody staring at you, and you walk up to a microphone and explain and plead your case.
I always feel bad. I always feels like we're sitting in the city council chambers, and some citizen comes in.
Oh, it's intimidating. But if you know the people, I think and that's partly why it's nice to have you here, so that there's a likability and be like, there's a friendly face on the other side who's just there to support and help you, the resident, but also just preserving the integrity of town, the looks and the way that things look and act and operate and feel. Like, there's something about what Winchester provides that is attractive to people.
Absolutely.
And so if we just all of a sudden went modern, we'd be losing, I think, a lot of the draw of why people come to town.
Absolutely. I mean, even if we put in, a lot of really tall buildings, well, that would overshadow downtown. There's certainly work that we could do to make the guidelines more clear, and we're actually talking about maybe putting some of those to city council to make it less subjective. If we look at some of our surrounding cities, Charlottesville, Richmond, they have more defined guidelines, which I think would be more helpful to people in planning.
That's a good point, because again, we're not reinventing the wheel here in Winchester. Right. There's plenty of other cities around our area that have similar boards who are there to help preserve the historical integrity of everything. So talk to me about what a typical board meeting looks like. Like, how long are you there? What are the cases? What do you guys do, and how does all that get set up?
So we are given an agenda a few days before, and it will tell us who's coming. and what their projects are. So that gives us an opportunity to walk over, drive over, and kind of see what the proposal is, and have questions ready if we're not clear. So we go to our meetings, and of course there's a public speaking time that anybody can come speak when the meeting begins without being on the agenda, so to speak.
Do they have a time limit then of how long they're allowed to talk?
No, but after some hot button issues, it was proposed.
Yeah, I can see that.
But we haven't had, that was just, one event that comes to mind. But for the most part, it's very relaxed. Usually it'll be a contractor or an owner presenting what they'd like to change, and then we interpret, what they're proposing next to the guidelines. Chapter B, Residential 4 states that, the primary elevation should not be changed. Now, if it's a secondary elevation, depending on when it was built, what was added, there are all different things that we can consider.
Yeah.
And that's it. So it's really just a discussion about what they want to do. And I try to really be friendly and make people feel comfortable.
Right.
Because I don't it feels like kind of a,
it can get intimidating.
Yeah.
And very sterile.
Right, right. And these are our neighbors, right?
Yes,
so,
exactly.
And we want them to be happy. We want them to like their homes.
You mentioned a specific style of a house. I think you said something like, was it Greek Revival or something like that? In your all's documentation, you have a big list of a bunch of different kinds of houses. How familiar are you with those houses? And is that like a representative of like the kinds of houses here in Winchester? Because I'm looking at it, it says like Greek Revival, there's a federal kind of house, there's a folk Victorian kind of house.
We have,
there's Romanesque Revival. I mean, I go down the list. It's impressive. Yeah. So
Mansard. We have examples of a lot of different types of architecture that have been popular, since the 1700s when people started building here.
So is this list, and I'll post this too for anybody who wants to see it. It's impressive. It's kind of cool to see kind of what the architectural board has defined of like the kinds of houses that are here, and they give the time periods for it as well. So do you refer to different old architectural kind of looks and designs?
Yes, absolutely.
As you review things, is that part of the process?
Absolutely. For example, if you wanted to replace the door on this building, which was built, 1740?
1757.
1757. We would look at what type of doors were used at that time.
Okay.
If it was falling off and you just had to replace it.
Yep. So let's use that as an example. I don't know if you're remembering the time I was there 2 years ago.
That was ringing a bell?
No, but it was the door, because the door itself was just a really nice old wooden door, but it didn't have a glass, like just a window to it that we wanted. And so we proposed that we rip out the top part of the door and keep the integrity of the exact same existing door and just put in glass. So I thought that'd be a no-brainer, right? Well, it turned out that there was a couple other issues of things that I was wanting to submit, so you guys requested me to come in and talk about it. And there was a debate, and the consensus was, well, the just sheer glass pane didn't match the style or design of what the house could have or should have been like. You guys looked at pictures of the places next door, and any of the doors that had glass in it had like a center style to it. So the suggestion that I then had to go with was add glass, but you need to keep the center style. So it's funny that you brought that one up, because that's exactly how it went down.
Right.
So you were referring to a certain architectural style or design of the building of that time period. Is that what the research was like?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's interesting, though, you don't want to create false history either.
Okay.
So when you have someone adding an addition, it's actually in the guidelines that it is supposed to look different. You're supposed to be able to tell.
Interesting.
This piece was original. This piece was added.
Okay.
So that's kind of interesting too.
What are the other kind of rules and guidelines? I mean, to me, I think of, is it something that is visible from the street versus not visible from the street?
Visible from the street.
So talk about that real quick.
Primary elevation, the front of any building, and then depending on if it has, if it can be seen from an alley, then it has a different perception as well. Indian Alley is a whole different ballgame too. But primarily, if it can be seen, if someone is walking by the house, then it's under the purview of the Board of Architecture Review.
Okay. Okay. So what happens if you start seeing changes because you're a realtor and you drive around town a lot, and I'm sure everybody else on the board does, if you spot or see something that doesn't look right, what then happens then?
There's really no enforcement mechanism that I'm aware of. I know that sometimes the city will send letters if they see something happening that wasn't permitted or didn't go through the board. There have been times where they have asked people to reverse what they've done.
Interesting. Sure.
But that is not.
So it makes sense to be more proactive.
Absolutely.
As the resident.
Absolutely.
Than wait and be reactive and get a letter or something like
Absolutely. It's much better to come in and have the conversation and have it right the first time.
And say, hey, I'm thinking about this, but you know, what do you guys suggest or propose? Right. Again, it's not, you guys aren't there to be the bad guys and the primary gatekeepers of somebody's house. It's more about, again,
not at all. It's more about preserving the neighborhood and the feel of the historic pieces.
Right. What's not change the subject, but what's one of the craziest things that you guys have talked through? Like, give us some examples without throwing anybody in town under the bus. Like, does any kind of story come to mind of just like a fun experience that you had of interacting with a specific house or a property here in town?
A fun or interesting experience? Nothing's coming to mind. Usually we just enter witness protection after after any type of controversial presentation. We go into hiding.
Of course. That's where this episode will go into that same witness protection program.
Exactly,
you know,
exactly. Hats, glasses. Yeah, I don't
live here. Of my harsh questions here. I get it. I've heard stories of some neighbors and people that, you know, they go through the process, and I think it's all perspective, right? Of, again, the purpose of what's being trying to be accomplished here, and when you buy a house and you're in the historic district, you should know that. That should be part of the process going into the purchase.
And not everyone knows.
Right.
And not everyone's agent even knows where the lines are. And because it's interesting, you know, some places that you think would be in the district aren't, and then places that you think, well, nobody drives on that road.
Right.
You know, are.
Yeah. Sure.
So
and there are maps online, right?
Yes.
And I can find those.
There are
maps
great maps now.
Too. And that's the neat thing I like about the city and also the county, that you guys are very open book. There's a lot of things that are published online in websites that you wouldn't even expect to find, and there it is. So
right. I know. I feel like we have so much access to information that felt like was kind of behind a gatekeeper in the past. Now you can just go online and click, you know, your house, and it'll tell you your trash day and recycling. And,
I looked that up even today.
Really? So I use it all the time, right? Send my client email, right?
I just look outside and are the neighbors putting their stuff outside? Okay, I'll
that's
do the
usually
same
my warning.
Sure,
I'm
that's
like,
a good
John,
sign.
Dave, put the trash out.
Well, to our credit, or not credit, but just basically the rules got changed somewhat recently anyway, of like when the trash pickup and by different wards.
Yes.
So,
it makes more sense. So now it's on the same day. So your recycling is
super helpful.
The same day.
Super helpful.
It really is.
How long?
Especially if you're planning your run or your jog walk.
Right.
Go a different way.
Go a different way. Or just taking kids to school or whatever you might be doing. Don't get stuck behind the trash truck. Yeah. What? How long do you serve on the board? Is there a specific set time? Or
I believe terms are 2 years.
Okay.
I really enjoy it. I like the people in the city that, that support the board and planning department. I've enjoyed meeting the other board members. I feel like the least qualified because, we have a gentleman currently who is a fantastic architect with a ridiculous background and all of the technical things. And so he brings that to the table. Then we have someone who was a builder, so then they bring a different piece to the table. Yeah. So I've learned a lot.
But it's great, again, having a realtor makes sense on there as well to give more of the perspectives, because you and I, as real estate agents, interact with the general public fairly often, and so we can bring you can bring that perspective to a board like that of like what do people from outside of Winchester have to say? What would they think? And give them those perspectives.
Sure.
Valuable.
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate you being here and being in the hot seat, as we might want to call it.
Thank you, Mark. This is my first podcast, so go easy on me.
Oh, absolutely. And so tell us how they can find you, because again, part of the drill is we got to be able to look you up, and especially if they're going to be out there buying and selling a house. And
sure. Thank you. Thank you. StephanieRyall.com. RYALL.
Yeah.
Very easy peasy. So, I appreciate it. I love your space here. This is a really great visit.
Trying to make it appealing to everybody.
Oh, it's
the listening
really
and the viewing
nice.
audience. So
really nice.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Stephanie.
Thanks, Mark.
Bye.
Well, I was excited to learn new things.
Yes.
With Stephanie, and I was a little surprised when she did share, hey, you can try to do things and just test the waters and see if you're going to get away with it. Not the best solution, but I was surprised to hear her say that. And then obviously you don't want to be called out by the board.
No, I can't imagine that you would want that at all.
Nobody wants to be called out.
Nobody wants to be called out by the board.
And what she obviously was very gracious to not reveal any ridiculous stories of things, people,
I would
places,
love to
houses.
Hear some of those.
I told her afterwards, I was like, I didn't want to be the deep diving investigative reporter to get all the dirt. And she's like, thank you. I appreciate that. Because they see some ridiculous nonsense.
I'm sure they do.
Of people.
Are you guys? You're not in the historic district.
We're not.
Okay.
No, thankfully we're not. As far as our
not
house,
either.
But the icon building is, as we talked about in the interview with her. But just, I after the fact, we had some off microphone conversations, and she was able to at least open up a little bit more with
Elaborate.
me. Yeah, just the fun stories. So I probably learned more off mic than I did on
That's
mic,
okay.
which is okay. But that's the beauty of the board, that they're there just to help the town and preserve the historic part of it. And again, for me, what I also realize is just in the conversation, they're not reinventing the wheel. I mean, there's plenty of other cities who are doing this. So having that kind of conversation as well.
Winchester wouldn't look like it does if you didn't have that.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
And I think that's why the board came into existence, is that too many bad things and weird things were happening with town that was like losing the core of what Winchester's all about. So anyway, thanks for that, Stephanie. Appreciate you and all of the work that you do behind the scenes for the city. So let me just talk about some of the local events coming up. It's going to be real. I mean, it's fall. Officially fall this past week,
man.
So I'm waiting for some of the fall football weather to hit.
It's not. We're still like in hot, dry.
It is hot and dry.
Hopefully,
a little bit
the
of rain
this week will maybe bring in some cooler. I mean, I hate it when summer's over. I grieve it every year.
Do you really?
Oh yeah.
Okay. See,
winter is like just crippling depression for me.
Winter is a bummer, but I do enjoy entering new seasons.
I do too.
And it's always the end of the season.
Unless if it's winter.
Yeah. If it can just stay.
I'm solid till January 1. And then it's,
in the 40s and 50s is fine. But once you get below
the 5 p.m. darkness is what.
That's the struggle.
The struggle.
Yeah. Just need to go. I mean, it could be worse. You could live like in Alaska or Iceland or Greenland or ridiculous places,
even just what we were in Michigan. I know their winters last forever, and I just couldn't do it. Yeah. I have a hard enough time with Virginia. I'm just going to be moving further and further south.
So, side note, this is crazy. I love talking about ridiculous things. Something that Erica, my wife, bought for her family members for Christmas a year or two ago was a sun lamp.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's a light that
it's supposed to help with.
It helps. And she bought it for some of her older family members and who get a little grumpy with that season. And maybe that could be my gift to you.
You should get me one.
And so they say if you just put it on your face when you first wake up for 15, 20 minutes, it just energizes you and allows you to.
It's got to be like a small version of a tanning bed. It's got to have the same like energizing feeling.
But it's giving you kind of like whatever
vitamin D, I guess, and or at least a mimic of vitamin D Is it a placebo? It's like a placebo sunshine.
I should do some more research on it.
I want to know.
I'll get it to you.
Yep.
Okay. Well, it's not getting dark yet.
No.
The time hasn't changed yet.
It is getting dark earlier.
It's getting darker, but we still have until 6:30, 6:45-ish, 7 even. So things like these events I'm about ready to share, you can still enjoy outdoors.
Absolutely.
So coming up this weekend on the 28th on Sunday at James Charles Winery, they're doing something called Bluegrass and Bites. And so from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock, it's a free event. So there's music, there's a bluegrass band that's there. And then you can pay $25 ahead of time for the food, which is going to be plates of fried pickles, jalapeno corn fritters, bourbon meatballs, deviled eggs, you name it. Just a fun experience to be outdoors. So enjoy the winery. And that's what fall season's about, I think.
And James Charles is out Middle Road.
James Charles is amazing. Yep. So you can check that out this coming weekend. Next weekend, there's what's called the Frederick County Farm Crawl.
Yes.
I've never heard of this before.
That I think it's just a couple of years old.
Mm-hmm.
And it is all the local farmers, farmsteads open up their place for tours and sales. Yeah. And so a lot of them make honey, tallow balms, skincare, chapstick. You can buy probably dairy food products, I would imagine, cheese and beef and produce.
And they're doing special offerings, tastings,
flowers,
things.
all kinds. It's supposed to be, I've never been. I've always wanted to do one. But
so it's like on October 4th. So on that Saturday from 8 to 5.
Yep.
And you start your tour at Sullenberger's.
Okay.
So you go there first, and then
at the hardware store?
There's a self-guided tour that you can go on. And it's all really sponsored by Frederick County homesteaders. And I'll share the link with this because they have their own website, and there's this whole homesteading community. So it's that community that's putting it on.
Speaking of Sullenberger's, have you been in there since they flipped from True Value to Ace?
No.
It's wild.
Is it good?
It looks great in
Really?
there. But I walked in, I popped in there yesterday to get a couple things for the yard. And I was like, I didn't know, everything's moved around. Okay. It's all in this really nice black signage, and like everything is in a different place. I was like very caught off guard. I don't even know where to go.
They need to be on our list. We need to get John and Patty in here and get them to be on the show.
Definitely.
And it was just a week or two ago that they were on the front page of the Star. This could have been in our opening segments, people, but you know what? We'll circle back to it.
We're figuring it out.
They were here on the front page of the Star because the governor was in town.
Yep.
And they gave a tour of Sullenberger's as being like one of the oldest, long-lasting, standing local businesses of the state. And they were, getting bragged on by the governor. So
I'll see if I can get a hold of them.
Both of us will pursue them.
Okay.
Yeah, we know them. So we'll get them on here and they can share their story about their hardware. I mean, it's amazing that they've lasted this long as well.
So many of the employees in there have been in there forever.
They love it. Sure.
Yep. Yeah. Very, very, very low turnover in there.
Yep. And then finally on Sunday the 5th, we always like talking about West Oaks because they have cool things almost every other weekend. But they're doing their own version of an Apple Festival 2025 on Sunday the 5th from 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and enjoy all of their outdoor experiences, whether it be hay rides or the corn maze or pumpkin patch, apple picking, live music, you name it. That's just a cool place to go. And obviously they have food there, games, activities. So that's their Apple beer. Yep, drinks, you name it. there it is. So that's what's going on here in our local area. Yes. Well, it's exciting once again to have you with us here.
Always
Rachel.
Good to be here.
Love it.
Mark.
And for all of you guys who are watching and listening as well, share this with your friends. Give us the reviews. Let us know that you like us. Share your thoughts and comments with us. Put it on social media. We're going to be putting things out there more and more every single week. We have ideas of other people we want to bring on board. Yeah. And you never know, because one of those people could be you. So until next time, think iconic.